Thank you for joining me tonight, especially the day before the 4th of July. I'm sure you guys are preparing your fireworks and your barbecues and all. And so I appreciate the time that you're spending with me. I promise I will make it worth your while. For those who don't know me, my name is SAHIRA ANAISA FENICE, and this is my show, A Little Hint of Magic, airing every first and third Fridays of the month on the Magical Witchy World channel. Please tune in. So, tonight, we're stepping into something that is both deeply personal and universally experienced. It is ritual. Not as performance, not as something reserved for special occasions, but something that lives within you, something you already know. Ritual is not something you perform, it's something you remember. Before systems, before structure, before modern life moved us into urgency and disconnection, your ancestors lived in rhythm. They understood that life itself was sacred and they moved through it with intention. Tonight, we're going to return to that knowing, to reconnect with ritual not as an obligation, but as remembrance. So we'll discuss reframing ritual, why ritual matters now, making ritual accessible, and then we'll go over a simple practice that you can customize according to your needs. I'll try to answer relevant questions at the end if there's enough time, but I also invite you to DM me any topic requests and questions via IG. You can reach me at, y'all know the handle, A Little Hint of Magic. That's magic with a CK at the end. Don't forget. So let's get into it. When many people hear the word ritual, they think of something formal, elaborate, even inaccessible. But ritual was never meant to be distant. It was woven into everyday life. Your ancestors lived ritually. Cooking was a ritual, not just preparing food, but nourishing, blessing, and sustaining life. Prayer was ritual, not just words, but communication, devotion, and alignment. Daily acts carried intention. Washing, sweeping, tending to the home. These were not mundane tasks. They were acts of care, of presence, of energetic maintenance. Ritual is not defined by complexity, it is defined by consciousness. It is the difference between moving through life unconsciously and moving through life with awareness. Ritual creates rhythm, and rhythm creates stability. For all those music lovers out there, that's we understand that. We understand that when you hear a beat, when you hear a certain melody, you feel that stability. You feel like your spirit is growing stronger and more grounded and more founded. That's the kind of rhythm I'm talking about. It connects you to something beyond yourself, to lineage, to memory, to cycles that existed long before you and will continue long after. And when you engage in ritual, even in the smallest ways, you're stepping into continuity with those who came before you. You're saying, I remember. So, why does ritual matter now? We're living in a time that often pulls us out of rhythm. Please understand that. Everything is fast, everything is immediate, everything is designed to keep us moving, consuming, reacting. And in that pace, we lose what? We lose connection to ourselves, to our bodies, to our breath, to our lineage. How many of us do not know how to breathe? And yeah, we breathe to sustain our lives, those shallow little hyperventilating breaths that we take, right? But taking a deep breath that cleanses us from the inside out, a deep breath that connects us to everything and everyone. We lost that connection. Ritual slows you down. It creates a pause, a moment when you return to yourself. And in that pause, something powerful happens. You begin to feel again, right? You begin to listen again. You begin to reconnect. Ritual is grounding. It regulates your nervous system. It creates a sense of safety and presence. This is why there's so many people in our time right now that are experiencing depression and anxieties, that are feeling disconnected and isolated, right? That's why suicide rates are so high right now, because we lost that ability to connect through ritual. Because again, ritual grounds us and it regulates us. But beyond that, it's also a form of spiritual continuity. When you light a candle with intention, when you speak the names of your ancestors, when you move with awareness, you are participating in something ancient. Understand that. Something that has always existed, something that is in your bones, in your DNA. Pay attention to it, listen to it, address it, and something that is still available to you right now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not when you learn how to meditate, not when you learn how to quiet that noisy mind that I haven't learned how to do yet, right? Um, but right now. You don't have to learn anything. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be present in the moment intentionally and reconnect right now. So, how do we make ritual accessible, right? Because everyone thinks that it needs to be this complicated process, right? And then you kind of talk yourself out of it because you say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know if I'm doing it right. And we overcomplicate things and then we tire ourselves out and we run in circles and then we give up, right? And we don't do anything, right? Ritual does not need to be elaborate. Understand that. It doesn't need tools or perfection or a specific aesthetic. The only thing it requires is presence. It requires intention. It requires consistency. Ritual can be simple. And some of the strongest rituals, some of the best rituals I know are very, very simple. It could look something like lighting a candle at the start of your day, taking a conscious breath before you speak, placing your hand on your body and checking in, speaking the names of those who came before you, giving thanks before eating, opening a window and acknowledging the air, the elements, the very moment. These are not small things. They are powerful because they are intentional. And intention is what transforms an action into ritual. Consistency matters more than complexity. A single act done with presence, repeated over time, becomes a rhythm. And that rhythm becomes a container, a space that actually holds you and supports you and reminds you. Ritual doesn't have to ask you to do more, it asks you to be more present in what you are already doing. Please understand that. So let's put our money where our mouths are, right? I think that's the saying. I always mess up these American sayings. So sorry about that. But I have a simple practice that, again, you can customize according to your needs. It doesn't have to be structured the same way that I'm structuring it or whatever. It's something simple, something easy, something that you don't have to overthink. Because when we overthink, what happens? We complicate matters. There is no complication here. It's so simple. So I want to invite you into this simple practice. Again, it's nothing complicated. It's nothing overwhelming. I can't emphasize that enough. We're going to do just one action. So choose one thing that you already do every day. For example, drinking your morning coffee or tea, washing your hands, stepping outside, sitting down at the beginning or end of your day. The important thing here is to bring intention into it. Slow it down. Slow it down. Breathe deeply. Be fully present. Notice your breath. Notice your body. Check in. Notice the moment. You can add a word, a phrase, or a quiet acknowledgement. Something like, I'm here. I am grounded. I remember. Repeat this daily. Not perfectly, just consistently. It's okay if you mess up, y'all. You know, we don't have to be perfect. What we need to do is be perfectly intentional, if anything, right? Over time, notice what shifts. Notice how that moment begins to feel different. You feel more anchored, you feel more intentional, you feel more connected. That is ritual. Ritual anchors you, it grounds you, it brings the sacred into the everyday. It invites your ancestors to partake in your everyday life. We don't always have to go to them. We want to invite them to come to us and to share in our space, in our everyday space. It reminds you that you are not separate from what is around you. You're actually part of it. And more than anything, it reconnects you to memory, to lineage, to the quiet knowing that has always lived within you. As you move through your days, I invite you to soften your pace, to notice what you're already doing, and to meet it with intention. So be present. Don't just absentmindedly do things. For example, some of the things that I do that are like just daily rituals or daily practices. One thing, for example, there's a cemetery near my home. So whenever I pass by it, I always greet. Or, yeah, the Baroness of the cemetery. I greet her and I greet those spirits that are in that cemetery, those past loved ones. I greet them. Good morning. Good morning, dead. Good afternoon, dead. Something like that. When I have my coffee or my tea, actually, I drink tea, I don't drink coffee. When I have my tea, you know, even swirling that spoon in my tea to make sure that my agave is fully mixed, I'm saying spells, I'm giving intentions, and it's not complicated spells. I'm just saying, please let me have a good day. Please let me be successful. Please let me win this business when I'm, in my, when I'm in my normal life. And what I mean by normal is like my mundane life where I'm working in advertising and I have a pitch that I'm doing. I'll swirl my spoon to the right and ask for guidance, ask that I'm clear in my communication, that I'm intentional with every word that I say, and that I actually accomplish the goal, which is to connect with my advertiser, connect with my audience, so that I can establish trust and an authoritative voice. I say things like that all the time, right? So, ritual isn't something you have to create from scratch. It's part of your everyday life. What do you do every day? When you wake up, what do you do? And don't tell me you pick up your phone. Please tell me that when you wake up, you do something. You may thank, your deities or your spirits for giving you another day of life. You may ask that you have a blessed day. Whatever it is, use that as your ritual. Again, ritual isn't something you have to create from scratch. It's something that you return to. It's something that you remember. So, As we come to the end of our time together, I invite you to stay connected. Please feel free to reach out with questions, share insights, or suggest future topics. Your voice is an essential part of this space, and I value hearing from all of you. So please connect. Again, you can connect with me on Instagram at my handle, A Little Hint of Magic. Remember, that's magic with a CK at the end. Thank you for sharing your time with me. It looks like we might have someone with a question. What is your thought on collecting graveyard dirt? Well, I actually there's a process for collecting graveyard dirt. There's a set of permissions. There's a set of, things that you have to do as you enter the graveyard, right? You have to bring offerings, things of that nature. It's complicated. It's something that we can't get into right now. It's something that I can discuss though at a later date if Mr. Spooky Joey, if you want to if you're interested in hearing more, I can actually dedicate, a show to collecting graveyard dirt so that you can kind of understand what the process is. But it's a process that's filled with respect. You have to be present in the moment. You have to be so intentional, and you have to make sure that you bring offerings, because one thing you can't take away, you can't take something without giving something back. It's just bad manners, right? When you go to someone's house and they invite you to dinner, it's customary to bring something, a dessert, a bottle of wine, whatever it is, 6 pack of beer. If beer is their thing, whatever it is, right? It's customary, So understand that just because folks are dead doesn't mean that you can be rude. There's no such thing as that. And you'll get a pow pow for that. So let's talk about it on another show. But thank you again, Mr. Spooky Joey, for asking that question. And blessed be to you as well. So, again, guys, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to gathering again July 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'm wishing you a beautiful weekend, a happy 4th of July if you celebrate that. I hope you have all the wonderful barbecues and eat a lot for me, for you, and for everyone else. I'm definitely looking forward to grilling this weekend. Enjoy your time. Be safe out there. No fireworks. Remember, our pet companions freak out when there are too many fireworks. So chill out on that. And I hope you have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Take care, everyone. Thank you.